Here's a truth most men hate hearing. Women don't reject you with their words. They reject you with their behavior. And because they do it quietly, you end up falling for the friendliest version of a no you'll ever get. Suddenly, you're overanalyzing emojis, waiting hours for replies, convincing yourself she's shy or busy or overwhelmed, when really, she's just being nice, not attracted, not curious, just polite. If that stings a little, good. It means you're finally ready to stop misreading the signs. Today, we're breaking down 6 clear behaviors that show she's not interested, even if she's smiling the whole time. Once you learn this, you'll never waste another minute chasing the wrong woman again. When a woman is just being nice, most men don't see it for what it is. They see it for what they hope it could be. And that's where everything starts to fall apart. Because the truth is, women rarely give direct rejection, not because they're manipulative, not because they enjoy watching you guess, but because they've been conditioned their entire lives to soften their discomfort so no one feels offended. Their social world rewards politeness, harmony, and emotional safety. A blunt no risks conflict, awkwardness, or guilt. So instead, they give the gentlest form of distance possible. That gentleness, however, is exactly where men get trapped. What she intends as a soft boundary, you interpret as a soft maybe. Her smile at the coffee shop, her friendly tone, her polite laughter at a joke that wasn't even that funny. Those aren't breadcrumbs of interest. They're survival skills, ways women move through the world without creating friction. You're reading attraction, where she's simply trying to get through the moment without hurting you. Picture this. You ask a woman if she enjoyed your conversation, and she gives you a small nod, a warm but neutral smile. For her, it's courtesy. For you, it becomes possibility. That tiny misunderstanding is the gap where men lose weeks, months, sometimes years, waiting for clarity that was never hidden. It was right there in her behavior. Women communicate disinterest quietly, consistently, and long before they ever use words. They don't need to say, "I'm not into you," when their actions have already whispered it 100 times. Women say no with their behavior long before they ever say it with their words. Number 1, she avoids committing to any plans with you. When a woman is genuinely interested, she looks for ways to create time. When she's not, she looks for ways to avoid it, while still maintaining politeness. That's why you'll hear lines like, "I'll let you know," "We'll see," or "Maybe Saturday," on repeat. She isn't trying to be mysterious. She's trying to sidestep the discomfort of rejecting you directly. This pattern isn't about her schedule. It's about her intentions. She keeps everything vague because a firm yes feels dishonest, but a firm no feels too harsh. So she defaults to the gray zone and hopes you will eventually get it without forcing her into an explicit confrontation. This is a form of passive distancing, her way of quietly signaling that she doesn't want things to go further. Imagine you invite her out 3 separate times. Each time, she leaves the answer open-ended. She doesn't offer an alternative date. She doesn't follow up later. She doesn't say, "How about next week instead?" Instead, you get the same polite fog. "I'm not sure yet. I'll let you know." That isn't busyness. That's indecision, engineered by disinterest. The common mistake men make here is trying to be overly accommodating. You loosen your schedule. You give her multiple options. You tell her you're flexible. You try to show you're easygoing, but every attempt to adapt your life around her communicates the exact opposite of what creates attraction. It signals that your time is negotiable and your standards are adjustable, and that only reinforces her lack of interest. The strategy here is simple. Make a clear plan once. Offer a specific time. If she can't commit, step back. Don't chase. Don't follow up. Don't double text asking if Saturday still works. Her inability to commit is the answer. You don't need to decode it. You just need to respect it. A woman who wants to see you will find a way. She'll suggest another day. She'll check her schedule. She'll circle back. Effort doesn't hide itself. It reveals itself immediately. If she wanted to see you, you wouldn't need a calendar. She'd make the time. Number 2. She makes plans with you, and then flakes. Few signals are clearer, or more painful, than a woman who agrees to meet you, sets a date, sounds enthusiastic, and then disappears when the actual moment arrives. Maybe she cancels at the last minute. Maybe she stops replying the day before. Maybe she doesn't show up at all, and you're the one reaching out to ask, "Hey, are we still on?" That dynamic alone tells you everything. You're the one maintaining the connection while she's slowly stepping out of it. Flaking isn't about bad timing. It's about low emotional investment. When a woman is genuinely drawn to a man, anticipation drives her. She looks forward to the date. She prepares for it. She remembers it. But when interest is weak, the date doesn't exist in her mental universe. You become an option she can drop the moment something more exciting, more convenient, or simply less effortful comes along. And yes, there are times when life gets messy, emergencies happen, schedules shift. But here's the deciding factor. Women who are truly interested demonstrate responsibility. They text ahead of time if something changes. They apologize. They offer a new date. They don't leave you waiting in a cafe for 40 minutes only to message, "I totally forgot," as if your time were a disposable resource. Picture the scene. You're sitting there, checking the door every few minutes, trying not to look like someone who's been stood up. When she finally replies, it's vague, casual, almost emotionless. There's no urgency to reschedule, no hint of disappointment. That emotional flatness is the real signal, not the cancellation itself. The biggest mistake men make is rewarding this behavior. You reassure her it's fine, you offer another day, you try to sound understanding. But here's the uncomfortable truth. When you tolerate disrespect for your time, you teach her, and yourself, that your time can be disrespected. Attraction doesn't grow from accommodation. It grows from boundaries. So what's the move? You give her one opportunity to reinitiate. Not guilt, not pressure, just space. If she wants to see you, she will. If she doesn't, the silence will speak louder than any excuse she could ever send. A woman who's into you doesn't forget you. She anticipates you. Number 3. She subtly rejects your presence when you get physically closer. Attraction has a signature. You can see it, feel it, and sense it in the way a woman welcomes you into her personal space. Disinterest has a signature too. It shows up the moment her body starts creating distance, even when her words remain polite. You move your chair a little closer, and she shifts away. You lean in while talking, and she angles her shoulders to the side. You walk her to her door after a date, step closer to say goodnight, and she takes 2 small steps back, pretending it's nothing. Those tiny adjustments aren't random. They're behavioral boundaries. People naturally shrink their personal space for those they're attracted to. That contraction is instinctive. It's not something she forces. When she likes you, proximity feels natural. When she doesn't, even polite conversation can feel too close. And because she doesn't want to seem rude, she'll cushion the discomfort with a soft smile or friendly tone. Many men misinterpret that warmth as interest, but body language never lies. Imagine the two of you at a bar. You slide a few inches closer. She doesn't jump away. She's not trying to embarrass you. But she subtly shifts to the left, just enough to re-establish that invisible barrier. She's signaling, "This is as close as I'm comfortable with," without having to put it into words. It's a message disguised as a micro-movement. The classic male mistake here is assuming she's just shy, just nervous, or trying to be respectful. In reality, if a woman feels genuine attraction, she gravitates toward you. She relaxes. She leans in. She makes eye contact that lasts half a second too long. Her body welcomes the moment. But when she keeps pulling away, even in small increments, her instincts are telling you the truth before you're willing to hear it. So, how do you handle it? You observe. You test space gently and respectfully. You allow her reactions to guide you. And above all, you don't try to override her boundaries. The more you push into a space she's not offering, the more she withdraws. The more you respect her comfort, the more clearly you'll see her level of interest. Attraction pulls her in. Politeness keeps her at a distance. Number 4, she avoids being alone with you. One of the clearest indicators of romantic interest is a woman's willingness to share private, quiet space with you, moments where the energy slows down and the connection becomes more personal. When a woman sees potential with a man, she wants those moments. She wants the stillness, the intimacy, the chance to feel him without the noise of the outside world. So when she consistently steers everything toward public places, crowded settings, or group hangouts, she's communicating something you need to take seriously. Notice the pattern. Every time you suggest something one-on-one, she redirects. You invite her over for a movie night, she suggests meeting at a cafe packed with people. You plan a simple dinner for 2, and somehow her friends end up tagging along. She treats privacy like a door she refuses to open, not because she's scared, not because she's taking things slow, but because she doesn't feel enough attraction to want that closeness. This isn't about safety or caution. Women who genuinely like a man will still look for chances to deepen the connection in a private setting, even if they take their time getting comfortable. The key is her behavior across multiple invitations. If she's drawn to you, there will always be at least one moment where she chooses intimacy over convenience. But when she keeps you in the public-only zone, that's her way of keeping emotional and physical distance without having to state it outright. Picture this. You suggest a cozy evening watching a movie, just the 2 of you. She laughs, compliments the idea, and then immediately pivots. What if we meet at that busy cafe instead? It's her gentle way of saying, I'm not trying to build anything deeper here, wrapped in politeness so she doesn't bruise your ego. The mistake many men make is trying to counteract this by proving they're safe, respectful, trustworthy. Over-explaining, overselling themselves, hoping she'll eventually relax. But attraction doesn't grow from convincing. It grows from chemistry. If she wanted private time with you, you wouldn't have to negotiate for it. Your job is to observe the pattern, not rationalize it away. The more she avoids being alone with you, the clearer her intentions become. If she can't be alone with you, she doesn't see a world where you two belong together. Number 5. You're kept far away from the people who actually matter to her. A woman's inner circle is more than just a group of friends. It's her personal ecosystem. These are the people who influence her choices, reinforce her standards, and validate the men she brings into her life. When a woman feels genuine interest in someone, she naturally wants to integrate him into that circle. Not immediately, not recklessly, but eventually. She wants to see how he fits. She wants opinions. She wants alignment. That's why being introduced to her close friends is often a sign of real potential. But when she's not interested, she draws a hard boundary between you and that world. You become someone her friends know of, but not someone they ever meet. She'll mention you casually, without context, keep details vague, or avoid talking about you altogether. She doesn't create openings for you to join group events, dinners, birthdays, or informal hangouts. Even after weeks of talking or several dates, it's as if you exist in a parallel reality that never overlaps with her real life. Imagine this. You've been seeing her for 3 weeks. You've gone out multiple times. Things feel fine on the surface. But somehow, you've never met any of the people closest to her. No best friend, no roommate, no accidental run-in. When you ask about her weekend plans, the answers are always non-specific. You're present, but you're not included. And that exclusion is deliberate. The mistake many men make is interpreting this as she's private or she takes her time. But privacy has a different flavor. Private women still reference the people they care about. They still show curiosity about how you might blend with their world. They don't treat their inner circle like a locked vault. They simply open it slowly. Disinterest, on the other hand, looks like a dead end. There's no opening because there's no future being imagined. The strategy here is surprisingly simple. Don't ask to meet her friends, don't push for inclusion, and don't seek validation from the people in her circle. Your job isn't to earn your way into her life. Your job is to observe whether she naturally brings you there. If she doesn't, that tells you everything you need to know. A woman won't hide a man she's proud of. Number 6. Her replies take forever, even though her phone is basically glued to her hand. In the modern dating world, texting is one of the clearest windows into someone's level of interest. People make time for what matters to them, and that includes responding to the person they're genuinely drawn to. So when a woman consistently takes hours, or even days, to reply to your messages, while somehow having plenty of time to post stories, like photos, chat in group threads, and stay active online, she's not being mysterious. She's signaling her priorities, and you're not on the list. This isn't about her being bad at texting. It's not about her having a demanding job. It's not about her not wanting to seem too eager. Women who are interested don't worry about looking eager. They worry about missing their opportunity. They respond, they initiate, and they keep the energy alive. Disinterest, however, looks like delayed replies, one-word answers, or responses that feel more like obligations than conversations. Picture this. You text her at 7 p.m. You see her watch your story at 7:03 p.m. You see her post her own story at 7:10. You see her reply to comments from her friends minutes later. But your message? She gets back to it the next morning with something dry like, "Lol, yeah," or "sounds fun." That's not subtle. That's selective engagement. And selective engagement is one of the strongest behavioral no's a woman can give without verbalizing it. The biggest trap men fall into is trying to compensate. You send more thoughtful messages. You ask better questions. You keep the conversation alive, hoping she'll eventually match your energy. But texting isn't a puzzle to solve. It's an investment pattern. And if she's not investing, your effort won't fix anything. It'll only inflate the imbalance. The strategy here is discipline. Match her pace. Keep your messages concise. Don't chase the conversation, and absolutely do not send paragraphs trying to win her attention. If she's into you, she'll move toward you. She'll speed up. She'll initiate. She'll show enthusiasm without needing to be prompted. But if the pattern stays slow, flat, and minimal, that's all the clarity you need. A slow reply isn't the problem. A slow pattern is. At the end of the day, the real heartbreak isn't that a woman isn't interested. It's that so many men spend months, even years, chasing signals that were clear from the very beginning. Women rarely say no with their words, but they say it constantly with their actions. And once you understand that language, everything becomes simpler. You stop overthinking mixed signals. You stop rationalizing inconsistent behavior. You stop negotiating for someone's attention as if it's something you have to earn. Recognizing disinterest early isn't about giving up. It's about respecting yourself. It saves you from pouring